G'day and welcome to the first wildlife episode of Ian Smissen's Photography. Well, good morning. It's ridiculous o'clock. I'm here in Adelaide, just leaving the hotel and heading out for Blowhole Beach down in Deep Creek on the Fleurieu Peninsula. Not sure what I'll find there at this time in the morning, but hopefully there's a nice sunrise and we get some good shots. See ya. Well, it pays to do your research. As you can see by the sign here, the last 3 kilometres of the road into Blowhole Beach is 4-wheel drive only. I'm only in a small 2-wheel drive vehicle, so I'm not going to risk it. And as you can see behind me, the sky's getting a bit grey, so I'm not going to risk a 6-kilometre walk in and out to the beach and back. So I'm just going to have to try and find something else to photograph while we're here. Well, having not been able to get down to the beach, I found some kangaroos beside the road. They're only a short distance away, so I'm going to do some wildlife shooting instead. The camera I'm using for this is a Pentax K3 with a 300mm f2.8 and a 2x adapter on it, which makes it the equivalent of a 600 f5.6. The K3 is a crop factor camera, so that means that it's the equivalent really of about a 900mm lens, which allows me to get quite close. These kangaroos in the field at the moment are probably 200 metres away, but I can get reasonably close with this camera setup. I'm going to switch over to video on the K3 and show you what I see through the viewfinder and then take some shots. The Western Grey Kangaroos are quite flighty, even though these appear to be quite used to humans. They don't appear to be affected by me standing here talking or cars going past. But on an open area, they're really hard to stalk. You can't really sneak up on them because they're completely aware of you being here. So you really just got to stand still and let them get really comfortable with you, and then potentially just creep up a few metres at a time, or just stand there and wait for them to come closer, which they can do if they get comfortable with you. So you can see here there's a little mob of 4 kangaroos, 3 of them feeding and one of them popping its head up and down. I'm just going to try and take a few shots of these first and then see. Oh, there we go. We'll capture this on video. So you can see what I see through the viewfinder, about 200 metres away. As long as I'm reasonably quiet and don't go rushing around, these animals will be quite happy feeding away. So I'm just going to leave this on video for a few more seconds to see if anything happens, and then I'll take some shots. As you see behind me, I've snuck in behind a tree, and you don't need to stay completely behind. As long as you and the tree can sort of merge into the background, and you don't move too quickly, then the animals are quite happy to treat you as part of the environment. It's when you separate yourself out and they get a clear outline of you on the horizon that they start to get a bit spooked. This kangaroo here is feeding quite happily, about 100 metres away from me, maybe a little bit more, and there's another one right beside it, but it's just a little bit down over the hill. Unfortunately, I can't get much closer, I don't think, without scaring them off, and they're just down over the hill, so not getting the full body. But I'll see if they move or turn around and face me. Now I've got just a little bit closer, sort of snuck up another 10 or 15 metres. This animal's still quite happy feeding. It knows I'm here, its ears are pointing towards me even though it's not looking at me. But it's quite happy, so I'm going to take a few shots from here and then see if I can just creep up a little bit closer. So I've been here for about an hour now, and I'm now within 30 or 40 metres of some of these kangaroos, and if you take your time, they're quite happy while they're feeding. They're not taking much notice of me anymore at all. So I'm just going to take a few more bits of video and a few more still shots and show you what I get. Well, the flies are driving me nuts, so I think it's time to pack up and head off. Thanks to the 100 or so kangaroos that have been out here grazing and let me get so close. They've been very tolerant and very cooperative. All right, so that's it, and catch you in another episode.